Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rumors of Heresy. My name is Zareth, and I've got a battle report for you today, guys. Surprise! We're trying Gladius Salamanders, which is something I've never tried before, versus the reviled and hated Ultramarines with Vanguard as their detachment. It's gonna get crazy, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, do something to help us mount the algorithm. Please, folks, it would be truly appreciated. Now, the list I'm taking is kind of a mix between my two big lists, like my Firestorm list and my Gladius list, taking elements from both. We're taking out the huge tanks from Firestorm and using the smaller tanks from Gladius, and then we're also adding some Storm Speeder hammer strikes and an Impulsor. It's a proxy, actually, guys, but it is there. And so Vulkan's hanging out with some company heroes, as per usual. Adrax is hanging out with Blade Guard veterans because he kind of makes them overpowered as long as they have some way to get +1 to wound, and then he gives them just a natural re-roll wounds, failed wound rolls in melee. It makes them a lot stronger than Blade Guard typically are. And then a couple squads of Infernus Marines to go with Vulkan's awesome Burnination abilities, some jump pack intercessors that typically just rapid ingress right away, incursors, scouts, intercessors, all the things, folks. And then a couple storm speeders. Never used them before, but it's kind of interesting. My opponent's list, Vanguard Spearhead, that I've played against this a few times at this point, and so it's got a lot of Dev Centurions. Not only does he have the big block of 6 of them, he also has a block or a brick of 3 of them, so that's interesting. He also has an infiltrating captain, a Phobos captain, that lets him at the end of our deployment put guys just into reserves, which he does with at least one of the bricks of Centurions, as you guys will see. And then of course he has got Roboot Gwilliman, I think he's misspelled there, my apologies. Uriel is hanging out with some company heroes, and then they have a lieutenant with an enhancement that lets the Uriel squad infiltrate, which is interesting. I haven't seen that with Uriel yet. I'm not saying it's bad, I just haven't seen it yet. I've seen it with Marneus. My opponent does not have Marneus here, so that's interesting as well. And then he's got some Inceptors with the plasma profile, which is just the thing people do on this list. Lots and lots of reserves. And then he's got Infiltrators, 2 squads of those, squad of Intercessors. Eliminators and Suppressors were really interesting, and he actually had the models and had them painted, so I don't know if he intends to use them all the time. I don't know. You guys will see what they do. They're not terrible. They're interesting, certainly. Whoa. Almost spoiled the whole thing, folks. Let's get into the game, shall we? All right, here we go. So I lost the roll once again. This just is our standard thing lately. I lost the roll to go second. I wanted to go second. Didn't get to go second. We're playing a pretty standard game. It's just take and hold, tipping point, deployment. And so we have raised banners. It's very standard, folks, very standard. So my opponent, we're trying new stuff here, folks, so I'm labeling where all of our guys are. So my opponent did put 5 infiltrators with a Phobos captain close, and I thought that was going to be one of the units that he just picked up and redeployed, but he decided to keep it there. And they don't have anything like lone op that like I could just shoot them potentially. So I thought that, you know, interesting move there for sure, because it's on my expansion objective. They're not even just like slightly off. He just started them on. So otherwise he's got some intercessors here. Company heroes with Uriel are infiltrating. They're already in the building. Roboots just in this back building here. More infiltrators. He's got Dev Centurions. I said that his suppressors were in reserves. I kind of think they're actually back here hanging out with Roboot, is what I think. That's what I suspect, folks. He did keep a lot for reserves. He had his Dev Centurions, who are going to be deep striking because that's what Uriel does for them, so they can do that. And then he's got a Combi Lieutenant that he also kept in reserves. I think so a lot of these elements, he's been playing Vanguard quite a bit, but I think he's new to a few of these different elements. So anyways, I think he's just trying some new stuff. So yeah. Anyways, then for my own deployment, I kind of overloaded things. And guys, I made a mistake here too. In all the shuffle and jumble of trying to get my list all the way where it should be, I accidentally just gave myself an additional squad of infiltrators. Now, it's not quite as bad as it sounds. First off, it's a casual game, and my opponent is a really good sport, and I don't think he would be that angry about it in a casual game, at least. But I also was 50 points under anyways, I thought. So it ended up being I was 50 points over, and that is my bad. So I will say this though. I have my I have the infiltrators right here. And what would have happened if I had been thinking straight, I would have had the intercessors who didn't do anything the whole game. I'm just going to mildly spoil that. They would just be over here on the objective, make it sticky, and then screen. That's what would have happened. That's what they would have done. So hopefully no harm, no foul. It is obviously my bad. So got some Infernus here. We've got some Infernus over here. You guys can see the arrows. And then the Ballistus Dread. I have a Ballistus Dread in Strategic Reserve. Jump Pack Intercessors, just a 10-man, also deep striking. Usually Rapid Ingress them on turn 2. And then both of the Storm Speeders are both, they're both deep striking as well. Now, I'm not used to using an Impulsor, guys. This is a proxy, you can see, with Blade Guard. It's an old school Rhino, folks, one that I just had floating around from back in 6th edition when I played Salamanders. I kind of played them. And then, of course, we got the Predators just hanging out here, just waiting to do what they typically do. So I gotta go first. Yay. Now, I think my opponent, I'm looking at this, folks, and I think he made a little mistake here. So, okay, so we picked up his Dev Centurions here, his 3-man. So they're all gonna be in, they're all gonna be in Deep Strike. Well, I guess that's at the end of my turn, right? Okay, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Our goal here, folks, is really pretty simple. The Incursors and Scouts are gonna skirmish the middle as best they can here. I guess let's take this. Yeah, okay. So the Incursors and Scouts are going to skirmish the middle. Just mess around with it as much as we can. We've got the Combi Lieutenant that's kind of scoping this one. And then Vulkan will eventually go over here and just take this objective over while the rest of our guys move on. We have we don't want our Infernus to go too far away from Vulkan, so we've got Infernus here that are going to move up, got Infernus here that are going to move up, and they can threaten the top objective and the middle objective. And eventually, if I want to, I can use the Devastator Doctrine to advance them, and then they can burninate the countryside on my opponent's expansion objective as well. And the idea here is just wait and see. Like, we gotta kill the Centurions, or if he doesn't give us the Centurions, we have to kill all the other things. And if he doesn't give us that, then we're hopefully scoring quite a bit, because he'll be getting onto his expansion objective. We'll be able to hold ours in theory, and then we'll shoot him off of the center one. I don't necessarily care about holding the center objective in this one. I just want to deny him getting on there, and I want him to want to be on there. So that's why we have also marked this one as the Combi Lieutenant target to be able to reroll ones on wound rolls. So let's see. So my turn 1, we're trying this new thing too, guys. Here are my secondaries. I got Established Locust and Overwhelming Force. Overwhelming Force is usually so useless, folks, but he had done that strange thing that I had said with the infiltrators here on the objective with a captain. So all I had to do was kill them. You guys can't see them, but all I had to do was kill them. So as a result, let's zoom in a little bit here. So sorry for how grainy it is, but we got Vulkan and his company heroes to be able to shoot them. I did poke one of the no, the Incursors didn't do anything, actually. Never mind, that's the next turn. We have our Burnination squad here with the Infernus, who were in range of the whole squad. The Combi Lieutenant had to advance to get onto the objective, and then otherwise, I mean, it's just a squad of infiltrators. So I did get the Predator over here as well to shoot at him, and at the end of the day, the whole squad just evaporated because they had Oath of Moment on them as well. Rerolls to hit, and wounding on 3s or 2s in a lot of cases, multiple wounds from multiple different sources, and the whole squad died. So we got overwhelming force here. Otherwise, we decided not to really mess around with this tank or the ballistas. Let's just hang out for a while, right? Like in reality, we'll get the Impulsor ready to threaten that center objective and chop anything up that we need to. And of course they have extra range because they can advance and charge one of the turns that we need them to. So we're just trying to skirmish here, guys. We got the scouts here to establish locus, and basically we're just ready. We need to see where those dev centurions are before we do anything. Before we try to take any objective other than our home objective, we need to see where the devastator centurions are. Now, for his own turn, let's see. He got containment and established locus, so he's able to get containment for 1, I believe. I think, yeah, that's why he popped his suppressors out. So they're getting containment, good for them. And then I think he made a slight mistake here, folks, because remember, Uriel Ventress is the one who gives Devastator Centurions Deep Strike, and he actually was using both Centurion squads with Deep Strike. I think it's easy to forget that these guys don't naturally have Deep Strike, and that's why most lists don't use them, because they have such limited movement, and therefore they don't really have that good of line of sight, not good visibility. I'm not saying it's not a good unit, but having Uriel give them Deep Strike makes that unit way better, right? So anyways, he did do that, and we'll totally forgive him, because I mean I'm cheating like crazy anyways with 5 extra or 50 extra points on the board. That's unprofessional. I realize. I apologize for real. Okay, so he moved his intercessors up. He moved Roboot up, and then his Devastator Centurions land here, and they shoot Vulkan squad, killing all but Vulkan. Vulkan lives. Obviously he lives, but the company heroes all bit the dust, which is probably worth it. It's a 95 point unit to expose his like almost 200 point unit, so. But he kept his other squad in reserves. I think he couldn't quite deep strike them yet. I think he had to wait till turn 2 to do that. And I mean, we're already kind of up on attrition anyways, because we've already killed his infiltrators with the Phobos captain, which is like 170-ish points, something like that. So anyways, he gets containment. He shoots down Vulkan squad, and that's about it. Vulkan's still fine, so he's probably just gonna go and hang out on the objective and be 10 OC. That's probably what he wants to do, right? So let's see. Yeah, and we both raised banners once, I guess, the turn prior. So yeah, I got overwhelming force for 2, established locus for, yeah, I got max overwhelming force, established locus. He got established and 1 containment. So pretty close game so far. On my turn 2, I got Defense Stronghold and Storm Hostile. Storm Hostile is so rough, guys. I really wish I could re-roll it on my own turn, on this turn, but I don't have the CP really. Without having Marnius and Roboot there to kind of bolster my CP, we got to be disciplined, and I just need more CP. So we don't really have a good target for Storm Hostile. What I ended up doing though, I needed to kill those Centurions, so I landed the Storm Speeder right here. You can't see it. This building is blocking all the action. I brought in one of the Ballistas Dreadnoughts to be able to see them. This one Ballistas Dreadnought came in from Strat Reserve, so we have an angle shot, and between the Predator and the Ballistas and what else? The Storm Speeder. I think, was that it? Oh, I think this Ballistas was able to, this Ballistas was able to see the suppressors, which you guys can't see because the suppressors are dead. DED, dead. And so now we're waiting for the 6-man Centurion squad, right? I mean, oh yeah, I did have one Intercessor here. Well, first off, the scouts picked up, by the way, and they're just screening in the back to keep him from deep striking there. One of the Incursors just popped out here so that he'd have line of sight to the Centurions, and he shot the Centurions, giving me +1 to hit, which was nice. Of course, I was able to remove cover using the Storm Speeder, shooting him. And then the 3 Dev Centurions just died. I mean, gosh, although the moment and everything, these Predators are so good, guys. I don't see how people aren't using the autocannon Predators more, especially with the change to Oh the Moment. It's just so good. Oh, here's the Scouts just screening, keeping him honest, as honest as we can anyways. And I'm still declining to move this tank up. I think that's maybe a mistake, because right now he's got a lot of targets, right? The Dev Centurions are probably going to land somewhere around here. It was my thought. Like, they have 36 or 36 range, 48 range, something like that. So they could land back here and they could shoot all the things. What I probably should have done is move this Predator up to right here, because if he wanted to land his Dev Centurions in a way that could see the Predator, that would actually be great for me, because he'd be in range of all my damage. He'd be in range of all the things like that. That would be awesome for me, in fact, if he did that. So I probably should have just moved the Predator up. I also did make a mistake here, folks. Remember, Uriel and his squad are sneakily hiding in this building, and I kind of forgot about that. So what I did is I have my Dreadnought right here, and his Uriel squad could potentially just jump out, charge the Ballistus, and if they charge at him in a sneaky enough way, if they kill him, they could just get onto this objective and take my home objective if I'm not careful. So I got to be cautious here, folks. This is we don't want to mess around. This is kind of a huge that was kind of a huge blunder by me. I did not mean to, like, the Ballistus should have poked himself. I don't know what that even means. He should have just gone up and out here just to threaten the center, just to see if we could apply more pressure, and therefore keeping it so that Uriel's squad couldn't actually get into this onto my objective. You live, you learn, though, folks. Well, you do. I don't know if I do. So, his turn 2. We got Storm Hostile Objective, which I'm not holding the center. It's going to be really tough for him to get to my own expansion objective. So that's kind of nice. Engage on all fronts. That's the one with table quarters. And so he could probably do that to some degree at least. Though I am screening him out of being able to get a lot of guys in. Now, the thing that I said happened, he did this really cool move where Uriel came out here, and then they shot a bunch at the Ballistus, with what I think he had Inceptors here land and shoot the Ballistus. Ballistus took most of the wounds, and then Uriel and company charged the Ballistus. What I did in response, though, after I recognized my mistake, and this is why I think jump pack intercessors is so nice, I was able to deep strike the jump intercessors. I made sure to keep them obviously outside of 9 inches, but remember, Uriel's squad had just like kind of poked out. They weren't where they currently are. The Ballistus is dead, you can see, because it died. It died to their charge, but they were back from that. So I was able to get the jump pack intercessors here, and I put them in a place so that if they did charge and kill the Ballistus, like, depending on how it all went, I could maybe have the option to heroic intervene. I didn't really expect I wanted to do that. Or if they just get onto the objective, I now out OC him by a pretty decent amount, and I'm able to keep my home objective. And then my jump pack intercessors, even if they are engaged by Uriel and company, first off, if Uriel and company want to charge the Ballistus, kill it, and then just consolidate into the jump pack intercessors, let me have 40 swings for free at you, and then tactical doctrine out, and then just immediately charge back in. Seems like a winning play for me, no matter what. So jump pack intercessors, and this is why it's so nice to have them for rapid ingress. Like, they can save you on certain things. Now, otherwise, he did land his Dev Centurions here, and he focused down. He killed the Speeder, but he wasn't able to. He had his Inceptor shoot my Speeder. The Speeder survived with 2 wounds remaining. I think he did. Yeah, he did multiples of 3 damage, so he did 9 damage to it. So it killed the Storm Speeder. Well, so these guys almost killed the Storm Speeder. His first oath was on the Storm Speeder. And so the Dev Centurions had no choice. They had to shoot the Speeder, and then they split fire into the Ballistus, but because they didn't have Oath of Moment, they didn't kill the ballistas. I put Armor of Contempt on the dude. He's already getting cover. And against las cannons, even though he got an extra AP on there, I was still able to save on 4s, and he lived, on 5, so he took some damage, but not nearly as bad as if he had had Oath on him and was able to kill him. He did kill, of course, the land speeder Storm, but that's fine. If he wants to shoot his entire Centurion squad and just kill a land speeder and wound the ballistas, I mean, that's fine. He did keep the Centurions back enough that I don't have anything that can really threaten him next turn. I mean, I could shoot him a little bit, but I've got a lot more pressing matters because he's also got his Intercessor Squad onto the objective, supported by Roboot himself. He's got his company heroes here, which are notoriously difficult to kill. Oh, you guys can't see him, sorry. And he's just got it's a target-rich environment for me. We're gonna have to just leave those Centurions alone. This was his go turn. Everything's in now. You can see the Eliminators are also here. They're hanging out right there. And the Incursors or the Inceptors are hanging out there. It's time, folks. It was time for him. Now it's time for me. It's my go turn as well. So we ended up scoring 21-18. It's a pretty close game at this point, because he scored 10 primary. I scored 10 primary, and I got Area Denial and Bring It Down, which the only Bring It Down target I even have for him is Roboot. He's a monster, and therefore we can get 2 points potentially on Bring It Down. And so here, I'm going to show you guys the board state before this, because so you can understand what's going on. He's got Roboot here threatening the objective. He's not on the objective. He's got 5 Intercessors, and then we got Inceptors and Uriel with the company heroes. And the lieutenant, so it's a 6-man company hero squad. It's a lot of things to be messing with, guys. So I ended up, I'm like, okay, not only that, I also have Area Denial, which if I'm able to play it right, I can at least get a small Area Denial if I'm able to kill the Intercessors. But then if I can kill Roboot, maybe he just goes away. Maybe he just dies. But even if so, I can kill him and then consolidate back onto the objective in a way, using Blade Guard, in a way that forces him, like he's supposed to stand up in the next phase, if he does stand up, as close to the same location as he had previously been. But if I consolidate like onto that space and make it so that the closest place for him to be is even farther from the center of the objective, then I'll at least be able to get mini Area Denial, and I'll have gotten a kill on Roboot. So getting those secondaries kind of just forced my hand here a little bit. It's time to go, folks. It is time to go. So what ended up happening, we get the Blade Guard out, and I go into Assault Doctrine, right? So Blade Guard get out. They roll a 6 for advance, so they're right there, right next to Roboot, and they get ready to charge. But first we got to do some shooting. So I ended up getting another Storm Speeder. This was another proxy, folks. This is my old school, now defunct old school land speeder with Salamanders. So old base and everything. I don't even have a base that size. So anyways, it deep struck as well. And what I ended up doing, I put the Moment on the company heroes, and then we have Vulkan, who's over here standing on the objective, but he has line of sight to the company heroes. So he puts the Forge Father ability on to let me reroll wounds, and then the Infernus and the other Infernus squad both burninated him with rerolls to wound, strength 5, and the Moment, they're wounding on what? They're wounding on 3s up to 4s because it's company heroes, then down to 3s again, and re-rolling because of the Moment. And between that and the plasma pistols and bolt pistols from the jump pack intercessors, the shooting from the guys, there's so many weird tanks, I keep forgetting their names, but this tank, the Impulsor, all the shooting, and then just a little bit of a charge, managed to kill the full 6-man company hero squad, including the lieutenant and Uriel. So that was good. The Predator tank over here went and evaporated the Inceptors, so killed those. This tank also shot the Inceptors and killed it. I think this guy combined with the Ballistus to take him out, and the Storm Speeder. And so that took a little bit more shooting, but we managed to take those guys out. And then the Blade Guard. I got 4 of them into Roboot here. They charged, well, 4 of them plus Adrax into them, and then I got 2 more into the Intercessors. The 2 into the Intercessors just melted them. I popped the Lance Stratagem, which also, because they're in Assault Doctrine, gives them +1 AP. So AP 3 on them, and they just, 2 of them killed a full 5-man Intercessor Squad. No problem. Like, it overkilled them, actually, by a couple. And then, you know, they're all rerolling 1s to wound, or to hit. Full rerolls to wound with Lance, so they're wounding on Roboot on 4s because he's only toughness 9. And between, I think Adrax did 9 wounds to him after his save rolls. Adrax did 9 wounds to him, and then the Blade Guard finished him off really easily. And then, wonder of wonders, folks, the first time I've seen this, it just didn't stand up. He just didn't stand up. I would have gotten area denial for the small one, I think. And maybe the way I was positioned, I think maybe even, I don't know, we'd have to measure it. 6 inches is quite a bit of distance. I probably couldn't have gotten the full 6-inch area denial, but one way or another, I did get it because I killed. Dude, that was such a devastating turn. Didn't kill the Eliminators. I didn't kill the Centurions, but I killed like all the other things. We killed the Inceptors, 3-man Inceptors, Roboot Gullymen, Intercessors, company heroes with Uriel and a lieutenant, and that was basically a wrap, folks. Not completely. He wanted to roll his so we got assassination and recover assets. And so what he ended up doing, he took the Dev Centurions over, and he shot at Adrax. So I actually tried a reactive move. I needed 3, I think, to fully like get out of this little footprint. I didn't. I rolled a 1, and you can't re-roll that one. So the Dev Centurion shot and did all the wounds to Adrax and company, except for, I think he's on 1 remaining. I think he has 1 wound left, because they charged as well. They rolled their charge roll. They got it. So Adrax, not only does Vulkan live, Adrax lives. But I mean, that's the Dev Centurions are now stuck here, and he doesn't have much else, guys. Like, the only real things, he has a Combi Lieutenant here. He's got the Eliminators, and he's got some Infiltrators. That's it. And I have most of my army, so we're doing pretty okay here, I think. I tend to think it's okay. So I'm up to 38. He's up to 28. So he still got his primary, is pretty strong. It's primary, but he's starting to run out of resources. He couldn't convert on Storm Hostile because I didn't have an objective. Or no, that was assassination. He couldn't quite, I failed a little bit. He couldn't quite kill Adrax. So anyways, on my own turn 4, we get assassination, secure no man's land. And I mean, essentially I have to kill the Combi Lieutenant, so we get the scouts to come in. I could maybe try to kill him. The big thing, obviously, was just to take out the Dev Sens. Once we kill the Devastator Centurions, like, the rest of the fight is just over anyways. And this is just a picture from the last turn, because I don't think I took any more. I mean, between the jump Intercessors, who hadn't lost anyone, and these guys are all visible, right? Like, they're tall enough to be seen over the obstacles. So between all my shooting and Adrax he passed his battle shock. He's going to, I think Rain just forgot to do it. He should have probably overwatched Adrax and killed him as he was running away, just to get assassination. But I mean, he didn't. And maybe I think he tossed assassination anyways. Who knows, man? I don't remember. But anyways, the Predator killed the Eliminators. Everything else killed the Centurions, like, pretty easily. Not particularly difficult with all the stuff we have left. And the scouts, we just didn't roll it to try to kill the Combi Lieutenant. just no need. I mean, if it's a tournament, maybe we roll it, but otherwise, that's basically it, folks. That's all she wrote. And so we ended up at 68 to 38, I believe. Or no, I think he got 43 actually. And I just didn't record it right. So my bad on that, Rain. You know, and if I'd had a full extra turn, we might have been able to get more. But here, let's talk about the match here. So let's transition. All right, here we are, folks. So, final thoughts. I was actually surprised. I didn't really think it would be as strong as it was. All the internal synergy things, like the incursors being able to give +1 to hit, was really nice against a Vanguard list that is all in stealth, so it's -1 to hit, and they all have cover. And then the storm speeders got rid of the cover for us, which was also really nice. And people just don't realize what a complete train of destruction the Adrax plus Blade Guard squad can be, at least if they have +1 to wound, because being able to reroll wounds on 5s is just so gross. It's so nice, and so being able to do that, really nice, obviously. And yeah, that people don't think it's good. It is good though. Playing the Salamanders without the huge vehicles is really nice. The Land Raider Redeemer is such an issue for me. I really love its profile. I love what it does. The ideas of it. I wish it could be the size of an Impulsor or something like a Rhino. I wish it could be tiny, and it's not, and it just gets killed a lot because it's tough to keep it hidden because it's huge. It's just so bulky and huge. It does cool stuff, but it's so big that it becomes like you can't hide it well. And so using the little vehicles was just nice. I wish there was a way to hide Land Raiders better. It's just not the Land Raiders edition right now. So, and same with the Land Raider Execution, or the it's kind of a Land Raider, the Repulsor Executioner. It does cool damage and stuff. It doesn't really fit that well with Gladius, in my opinion. It's more of a Firestorm sort of thing. So, and it's huge as well, and you don't really need it to transport things. You just have it transport things because you want to transport things for fun. You're like, I may as well. I'm paying points for it. And then otherwise, I think we're going to keep playing this, folks. The CP like levels and efficiency is not, it's a lot tougher, but if you play pretty disciplined, I had enough CP to do the things I needed to. Being able to rapid ingress, obviously, and then sometimes heroic intervene is really nice with the jump pack intercessors, and I want to keep doing that, but that also means we have to really stay away from doing too many armor of contempt or popping smoke or doing any of that. And I guess that's one nice thing about not taking a Land Raider, because it's like Land Raider is 300 points basically, and then there's all the guys inside. It means a lot to the list for it to survive, and so when people shoot at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, armor of contempt. Let's do pop smoke on it. Let's make it as tough to kill as possible, and that's where all the CP often goes, is trying to keep the stupid big vehicles alive. I'm like, oh, CP reroll that armor save, as opposed to if a Ballista's Dread gets focused down. It's a little sad, but that's fine. It's 130 points, so we don't have to waste CP on keeping vehicles alive, which is nice. It's really nice being able to be a little disciplined there, and we can still do all the Gladius tricks. So yeah, it worked well, I think. We'll see, guys. I think I'm gonna try it next time I play. Actually, we'll try it again. So a minor tweak, we're probably because I had 50 extra points to mess around with, I think we're going to get rid of one of the storms and add a Vindicator. Just one. I don't know if it's a good idea, but that's the first time I've used a Vindicator. So stay tuned for that one. Now, I didn't play in the Laramie in the Laramie GT, folks. I wish I could. I just, at last minute, family thing came up. Had to do that. Very important. No regrets that I missed it, except that I missed it. So tragic. Really unfortunate. Wish I could have gone. But I'm sure they all enjoyed not having to worry about me. No. But that does mean that I'll be playing in, I don't know for sure. There's an RTT either on March 15th or March 8th. I'm not sure which one I'm going to, so we'll be doing one of those. And then the Rocky Mountain Open, guys, over 200 people have already signed up for it. It's going to be it's huge. It's like super major size. It's going to be over 200 people attending, only 6 rounds, so they're going to be multiple undefeated winners. And why not me? Maybe we could do it, guys. Maybe we could go undefeated at a GT one more time. Maybe we'll just win it somehow. Who knows? Or maybe I'll just go 3-3. That's also possible. And then we also have the Frontier Open, which is the GT in Cheyenne, Wyoming, that they do annually. That's going to be in late April. So lots of cool stuff coming up, folks. Really excited. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. What ways I played poorly, ways I could play better. If you like the list, if you don't like the list, if you like how we're doing the slides and everything in terms of the battle report, all of that stuff. Any feedback, respectful, is very appreciated. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment if you haven't already, folks. I'm gonna let you go, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that if you didn't hear it from me, it's probably heresy. Take care, folks.